Welcome to Film Review with Nick. I'm Nick, and the film we're going to be reviewing today is footage from one of the matches that I had at the excellent Beta Cup in Ottawa that I did yesterday. The Beta Cup is a new HEMA tournament focused on longsword and saber, put on in Ottawa, capital of Canada, by the Ottawa Historical Fencing Society. It's been put on as an internal tournament for the past few years and just opened to the public, becoming an open tournament just this past weekend. I was there for Sabre as my first Sabre tournament. Today's match is between myself and Maxime Chouinard from the Bataract and Historical Fencing Faction club in Ottawa. I'm going to play the entire match for you here without any interruption, and then I'll come back to it and talk about a few of the passes that I thought were interesting.
I saw it just shot. Was Dan gambling on the match? Ready.
Not too much yet. At least we're not here.
Judges ready, fencers ready. Begin. Salutes. Defense. Hold. Game up. Unchained red. Blue. Judges ready, fencers ready. Begin.
We're gonna just go.
Hold. Unchained for red, injury for blue. Salute, hold, and fence. Unchained red, move blue. And quick, hold. Judges ready. Cut them and ready for a double match red. Hold. Unchained in red, move to blue. Judges ready. Fencers, begin. Oh, take one, ready. Judges are ready. Fencers, are you ready? Salute. Fence. Unchained red, wound for blue. Match red.
Welcome back. I'm going to pull up Kinovia with the few passes that I thought were particularly interesting. The first was actually from the first pass that I did with Maxime, and what I thought was interesting about this were kind of two things. One was a theme throughout the entire tournament. I have been working from the 1895 Manual of Infantry Sword Drilling from the British Army. Lately, it's a bit of a weird manual. I believe it's based on some Mizello, but with some interesting British translations. But one of the things that it really does, at least to my reading of it, is it spends a lot of time in this kind of low-hanging guard, seconde, I think, in Italian terms. And this is not really something that I saw from a lot of the competitors. And for better or for worse, I didn't see it from a lot of the competitors. And when I faced off against people, there was kind of some hesitation and a lot of tapping to try to figure out ways around it. In particular, I noticed about Maxime and some of his other matches was that he was really trying to draw in an attack, and so I wanted to see if I could avoid playing the parry riposte game. And you can see some of that here. He's really trying to draw an attack. And he ends up making he ends up making a move here. Yeah, he makes a full strike, which prompts me to go after it. But nothing really happens here. Nothing of note yet. But then here, he opens up right here, and I go for it. But I don't think there's any way that I would hit along this line. Yeah, and indeed I don't. Not really sure what I was going for here. And he's able to cut outside of me. Beautiful cut. Takes me down right there. So I think really the thing that I want to take away from this is that if I'm in against a opponent who's really trying to play the parry riposte game, I'm not super confident in my ability to parry riposte yet. I think I need a lot more work before I can be confident in it. So I should try more to avoid being drawn into that game. Let my opponent get impatient. The second pass I wanted to talk about is actually the second pass of this match. So this one, and I'll zoom back out, was interesting to me because I get into a parry game, which I'm not very confident in, but it ends well for me. Looked cool, I think. And I end up getting the hit here. And I void the afterblow here. Looking at this, I should be pulling back up into, I think that's a prima in Italian terms. First card in the book I'm using. And guard it. But my void works, and it's a clean pass, ultimately. I think the only thing I could have done better is just pull into that, really wrench my hand over, get the guard back up immediately. But it's interesting to note that my parrying worked okay, and I think I was able to avoid the really reactive play. The next two passes I lose because I'm slower, and I end up losing a bit because I changed position here. I'm not looking back. I think I ended up changing position here because I got a little bored, or I felt like I shouldn't stick with one guard for too long. But at the same time, I had not really suffered from changing guard, so I probably should have kept the same approach going in, and I think I paid for that here. So I'm going to skip to the last two passes, which are interesting for different reasons. The second to last pass, the fifth one overall, I think is just an excellent cut from Max here. So, and I want to see if I can figure out how I could have avoided that. So I'm playing the tippy-tappy of the sword thing here. And he gets a good cut in here. So I think, yeah, I'm coming around to cut from the inside out, or from the outside in, I guess, from his perspective. And I expose the top of my arm for a cut. I'm within measure. I think my best bet would have been to pull my hand in more for that cut if I was going to do that line. But looking at this, I don't think I should have done that. And I think stepping in was a bit excessive. I go for a thrust here, but it's well wide and not safe. If anything, I should have pulled him up into a hanging guard and then thrust down. But yeah, I think I lose to just not having my measure. And then I miss the thrust. And then the last pass is very similar, actually. I'm here, and I'm looking for a thrust. I don't get it, and I do get cut. So I've abandoned the second guard from my book, but I think it's primo or seconde. I've abandoned this low hanging guard, which was doing well, and I'm fully in the tier C in Italian terms, and nothing in the book that I'm using. Here, trying to pull it into a fourth guard from my book, something else in Italian, and I guess I'm going for I try to sweep his blade out of the way, but I'm far too slow in acting on it. I think if I wanted that to work, I would have to have already had my back foot closer. My back foot is too far away. And then he gets his cut in. And actually, I think he jars my arm a little. And I miss the thrust. So I would say my best lesson here is if I'm going to go for that beat, I should already have that back foot tucked in. I should have back foot all the way up. And so as I'm swinging that thrust, I'm bringing my foot forward, beat down, and I would have just that much more space. If I had that much more space, tip of my sword would be in him or off of him. And that might have worked. Of course, he might have taken a different strategy to defend, but I think my theory would have worked better if I just had that much more space here. Well, that's it for tonight. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any feedback for me based on what you've seen here, what you saw in the full video, or on the style. Always open to more suggestions, and more eyes will make me a better fighter. Make all of us better fighters. Thanks for watching.